You can't allow me to stay, okay? My name is Peter.
Peter?
Yeah.
Nice to meet you. I'm Rachel.
Thank you. Okay. And you?
I'm Jay.
Oh, you're Jay?
Yes.
I can see the Temple of Witchcraft there. Love, will, and wisdom.
Yes.
Witchcraft people believe it's a bad thing.
Yes, I do. But it's not. It depends on the person who wants to practice, because it's really about tapping into, can you figure out what is your great work, what is your divine purpose, what are you meant to do? And if that's leading you towards love, will, and wisdom, then that's where we feel that you really understand what your purpose and work is. So a lot of the people who are in the temple aren't doing it because they're trying to harm other people. They're trying to work through emotional blocks they may have. They're trying to work through thought blocks they may have, learned bad ways of responding to things, what are more healthy, appropriate way to respond to things. So it's really a system to kind of help people learn to grow, evolve, and kind of find out what they're really meant to be doing in this lifetime.
No, the witchcraft
Yes.
is not in a negative word.
I don't think witchcraft is either negative or positive. Kind of like electricity itself is neither negative or positive. It's the person who's using it. Electricity could be used for very good things. It could be used for very bad things. So I think people who've experienced witches who are using it for very bad things will think that witchcraft itself is bad. But that's not the case. It's the person who's chose to use it in a certain way. I believe that there's spirit in everything. I'm very much an animist. I believe that trees and stones and everything has a spirit about it. And just like with people, you can meet people who are good people, and you can talk with them, and you can build a good relationship, or you can meet people who are bad people and challenging people. So I think what we try to do with the mystery school, with the Temple of Witchcraft, is teach people to have a more appropriate relationship and building those spirits. Again, we kind of believe in this concept of steering people towards divine love, divine will, and divine wisdom. In that sense, we're trying to help people understand that witchcraft itself is neither bad nor good. So we're trying to raise the spirituality, the awareness, and then people can use the tools of witchcraft to kind of help bring about that soul's evolution, understanding what we're really here to do.
Do you fly in the night?
No, I don't fly in the night. I do believe in things like you can project your consciousness to different areas and perceive things, but is my body flying anywhere? No, it's just my consciousness.
Then when one dies, where will he go or she go?
I see that there's an upper world and there's a lower world. And I think the lower world you'll go to is exactly as you imagine it. So if you have a very culturally accepted idea of like hell and it being death and darkness and punishment, if that's what you believe, then that's what you'll experience. But if you believe that the underworld is really about rejuvenation and about restoring yourself, that'll be the experience that you have. But we also believe in an upper world. In this upper world, people will call heaven, some people will call Shambhala, some people will call this place. But I also don't think that we have a single soul. I think we have three souls. We have an upper soul, that part of us that's always connected to the divine, that oversees our many lifetimes. We have our middle soul, and that's the part we get from our parents, and the culture we're born in, and the family we're born in, and the time we're born in. And then we have that lower soul, which is more that instinctual voice, that dreaming voice we have. And those three come together in this lifetime. And we have to figure out, why did these three come together? What's our purpose? What are we meant here to do? And then when we die, those three souls, your upper soul returns where it's always been, in the upper world. Your lower soul, that very childlike, instinctual, dreaming voice, goes there, and then your middle soul just returns to the earth. So,
is your husband also? Is your husband a member?
No, he's not. When I met my husband, he was his grandparents, his great parents, and his parents were never raised in the church. He never worked and concerned himself with religion or spirituality. So whenever he found out that I was interested in being a witch, he had a lot of questions, because a lot of people think you're a witch and they go, oh my gosh, green face, long thing, flying on a broom. And I'm like, no, what I'm learning is different. It's this idea of how do you imbue these principles of love, will, and wisdom? How do you find that higher vibration? And witches can heal or they can hex, but hexing isn't always a bad thing. It's how you do it. Like if you're trying to heal a disease and the disease won't be healed, you can hex the disease, not the person, but the disease, because sometimes that's the energy that's sending down where it needs to go. And you can have a witch who says, "No, I'm not going to just hex the disease. I'm going to hex people." And other things. It's not the craft that's bad. It's the person choosing how to use it.
How did you go into it? When did you become a member?
I actually went through seminary. I went to Princeton Theological Seminary and was pursuing becoming a professor of religion.
You almost become a professor?
Yes. And I was going to be a professor of religious studies and work at the university. And a lot of the papers I was writing in seminary were meant to express what are our beliefs. A lot of my professors would write things down like, in very theological terms. You sound like a pluralist. You sound like this. And as I began to realize it and began to really explore, when I think about my spirituality, where does that really resonate the most? I recognized it wasn't with a lot of the prophetic traditions that were around like Judeo-Christian structures, but it was more experiential. So I began to look around and I ended up running across Christopher Pensek, the one who started this, who's written all of these books. And I got a chance to talk with him. I really appreciated the fact that he approached things from a very academic point of view, but he also approached it from a lot of love. And so it really kind of spoke to me, and I said, well, let me try this out. Will I do this? And so I started to explore it, and it really spoke to my soul. And it said, yes, this is that part that I was looking for. So
No, how old are you?
How old am I? I'm 55. Yeah.
Well, you're getting older and older when you die.
Yeah.
What do you think you will do after that?
I think that at death, these three parts of me will separate, and there will be this part of me that is this archetype over these many lifetimes. And I think that my next lifetime, depending on what I accomplished in this lifetime, will dictate what's going to be happening with that unique combination. How close did I get to figuring out what was my true will? If I figured out my true will and I was fulfilling it, then I think there's this chance that you can stay in this higher level of consciousness, almost like one of the saints or one of the bodhisattvas, these spiritual leaders that help people find their way. But if you haven't found that true purpose, you haven't enacted that true purpose, then it's about, okay, let's kind of get a different combination together. This is the same higher soul that I had last lifetime, but let's instead put her in the Congo. And let's bring a lower soul up that's going to have her view things this way, and put this mix together. Now, does this combination help her understand that? So, yeah.
What's the
That's a pentagram. Okay. Pentagram, a lot of people associate it with the devil, but